So Richard's influence is such a huge asset to Santa Fe, and his teaching kids for 20-30 years, it's increased exponentially. I mean, these kids all go out and teach other kids, or they become musicians and they love music, and it's all because of him.
This man who's conducting it was our music teacher from when we were children, and he taught us to play.
Richard SNYDER.
It was financial. I needed some work because been driving a truck in Albuquerque and goofing around, and so I started. And after the first semester, I was hooked.
I moved to Santa Fe in 1971 and worked in the marketing department for Mountain Bell Telephone on Alameda. Across the street was a restaurant at the time called the Periscope. And Richard was playing in a jazz trio that performed there on the weekends. And my boss at the telephone company was a jazz fan. He said, you know, you gotta go hear these guys, they're really good. And so that's where I first met Richard. I eventually started playing in that band. And then from there, we would do projects together. When I left the telephone company and started teaching, Richard was a huge influence on the way I taught and the way I related to my students.
We had the Santa Fe Youth Symphony. We started back in 1994, and Richard was a director and conductor of various of our ensembles. And he was so good with the kids. It was really great. He had this rapport with them that was astounding. He has a wry, kind of deadpan sense of humor that really related to the kids. And then he would have high expectations, both musically and discipline-wise. So they ended up really wanting to play for him, play well, and we ended up with really great sounding orchestras.
I worked with him a long time at the what we called the Santa Fe Public School Summer Band Program, which was held at Vargas Middle School. And Richard was the big draw. We would have kids lined up out the door, waiting to sign up because Mr. SNYDER was there. And in I can't remember exactly how he said it. He said, we always teach fun, and then we teach the fundamentals.
I remember that first year though, I was in the classroom and I was going, what did I get myself into?
I know his influence throughout the city is major. And even for those people that didn't continue in music, he's made a real impact on their life in terms of how they see themselves and how they approach their job and the success that they've had.
I want to be remembered as someone who provided kids with an opportunity to express themselves in music. And I think that's enough, you know? That's enough.